For women transitioning past the age of 50, the body is far more than a simple motor framework. It serves as a profound repository for the traces of decades of accumulated stress, physical fatigue, and complex hormonal shifts. You may frequently experience a localized sense of heaviness in the lower extremities, a persistent state of unexplained abdominal bloating, or a chronic nagging rigidity within the hip joints. These physical manifestations are frequently misidentified by the public as the inevitable, untreatable signs of natural aging. However, when viewed through the lens of movement science, these symptoms are often the direct result of significant blockages within the body's essential biological flows. Before we dive deeper into the science of how to resolve these blockages, if you find this professional analysis valuable for your long-term health, please take a moment to subscribe to this channel to ensure you never miss our evidence-based wellness sessions. Today we are analyzing a minimalist, yet highly systemic intervention, the butterfly stretch. This movement is far more than a basic mechanical stretching exercise. It is a restorative ritual designed to reestablish a critical equilibrium between your circulatory system, bladder function, and the peripheral nervous system. To understand the profound efficacy of this practice, we must first examine the specific anatomical structure of the inner thigh. The adductor muscle group located in this region acts as much more than just a means to move your legs. These muscles serve as critical hemodynamic and lymphatic highways that lead directly into the pelvic basin. After years of sedentary professional life or the gradual onset of a less active lifestyle, these adductors have a biological tendency to shorten and become increasingly fibrotic. This localized fibrosis creates a sustained mechanical pressure on both the blood vessels and the delicate lymphatic vessels, functioning essentially as a physiological traffic jam at the level of the hips. This mechanical obstruction explains why you might suffer from numbness in the feet or persistent swelling in the ankles. It is frequently not a symptom of a weakened heart, but rather an obstruction of the venous return of blood. The butterfly stretch is particularly unique in its capacity to activate the lymphatic system. Unlike the circulatory system, which utilizes the heart as a central pump, the lymphatic system possesses no self-pumping mechanism. It depends entirely on the rhythmic contraction and extension of muscles to transport fluid and flush out metabolic waste and toxins. By performing the pulsing motion of the butterfly stretch, you are directly milking the pelvic lymph nodes. This action assists in reducing systemic tissue inflammation and provides a tangible, immediate sense of lightness in the legs as your tissues are finally allowed to breathe once more. One of the most delicate yet vital health concerns for women over the age of 50 is the gradual decline in bladder control, which manifests in conditions such as nocturia, waking up at night to urinate, or sudden urinary urgency. The root cause of these issues often resides in the loss of tone in the muscles that provide the structural support for the bladder. The adductor muscle group shares a profound and direct neuromuscular connection with the pelvic floor. When these inner thigh muscles become excessively weak or chronically rigid, they exert an unnatural pull on the ligaments that keep the bladder in its proper place. This mechanical strain can shift the optimal anatomical position of the organ. The butterfly stretch serves to reawaken the dormant neurological signals in this specific region. Through the consistent restoration of flexibility to the adductors, the body is empowered to naturally recalibrate the alignment of the pelvic floor. This can lead to a significant improvement in the ability to manage urinary retention and excretion, offering a non-invasive path to regaining control. It is common for lower back pain to be treated directly at the site of the spine, yet in a vast number of cases, the actual origin of the discomfort is located lower in the hips. The pelvis functions as the essential foundation for the entire lumbar spine. When the adductor muscles are tight, they create a sustained asymmetrical pull on the pelvic bones, which inevitably leads to an abnormal pelvic tilt or rotation. This misalignment of the foundation forces the lumbar vertebrae to compensate by overcontracting the surrounding spinal muscles, which results in those persistent dull aches that many women accept as a part of life. The butterfly stretch targets these deep stabilizing muscles, effectively releasing the negative mechanical pull on the pelvis. When this foundation is brought back into balance, the lower back is automatically relieved of its compensatory pressure. This allows for daily movements, such as walking or standing, to become significantly smoother and more flexible. From a psychobiological perspective, The pelvic region is a primary storage site for the nervous system's stress responses. For many women, this specific area of the body is intimately tied to their internal experiences of safety and personal identity. When the butterfly stretch is performed with a slow rhythmic cadence, the combination of hip abduction and deep controlled exhalation serves to trigger the parasympathetic nervous system. This is the specific branch of your nervous system that governs the rest and digest state of being. This rhythmic movement sends a clear biological signal to the brain that the body is currently in a safe and secure environment. This explains why so many women report a sudden, unexpected emotional release or a feeling of profound inner peace after practicing this movement. You are effectively discharging the anxious energy that has been stored within your muscle tissues for perhaps decades. The process of aging is often accompanied by a physical tendency for the body to shrink or collapse inward. This usually manifests as rounded shoulders, a collapsed chest, and a spine that has been compressed by years of gravity. The butterfly stretch acts as a powerful natural counterforce to this physical decline. By reestablishing the balance of the pelvis, the exercise allows the vertebrae of the spine to stack on top of one another more naturally and effortlessly. It facilitates a gentle traction throughout the lower spine, which helps to decompress the lumbar discs without the need for forceful or high-impact manipulation. Once the pelvis is stabilized, the rib cage is granted the space it needs to expand fully. This makes every breath you take deeper and more efficient. A truly good posture after 50 is not just about standing straight. It is the physical reflection of a body that possesses internal flexibility and is no longer held captive by rigid, compressed muscle blocks. We must begin to view pelvic health as the true epicenter of our internal vitality. This area contains not only essential internal organs, but also a complex, interconnected system of fascia, the connective tissue that links every part of our anatomy. The consistent practice of the butterfly stretch enhances the oxygenation and the flow of energy throughout the pelvic bowl. These biological shifts can manifest in numerous positive outcomes, including a reduction in digestive bloating, improved metabolic function, and even a renewed glow in the complexion. This is because your endocrine system, which regulates your hormones, is being supported by improved internal circulation. Graceful aging is not a battle against time fought with superficial treatments. It is the process of nourishing the circulation and the elasticity of the deepest tissues in your body. To achieve the systemic benefits we have discussed, the correct technical execution is paramount. First, for the seated position, sit on a firm, flat surface and maintain a tall, naturally straight spine. Bring the soles of your feet together in front of you and allow your knees to drop open to the sides. Instead of forcing or pushing your knees down, perform gentle, rhythmic pulses, similar to the wings of a butterfly for approximately 50 repetitions. It is vital that you allow gravity and the natural rhythm of the movement to do the work rather than relying on aggressive muscular effort. If you find sitting uncomfortable, this can be performed lying on your back, which allows the hips to open passively and safely. However, we must address critical safety guidelines. You should avoid this practice if you have recently undergone abdominal or pelvic surgery, if you are currently experiencing acute hip pain, or if you have a diagnosis of severe osteoporosis. Furthermore, individuals with a history of blood clots or thrombosis must consult a medical professional before beginning this or any new physical routine. In conclusion, the butterfly stretch is not a fitness goal to be conquered or a chore to be checked off a list. It is a radical invitation for women over 50 to return to themselves after a lifetime of prioritizing the needs of others. By dedicating just a few minutes a day to this ritual, you are performing a profound act of reconnection between your mind and your body. I encourage you to start with the smallest of steps, perhaps just 1 minute a day, and view this as a nourishing ritual of restoration. Your body is always listening to the signals you send it. Choose to start your journey toward restored vitality today.